Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another video. And in today's video we're talking about what is a mosh pit? And what is the purpose of a mosh pit? Because I kind of got in an argument with somebody online and they said they want the violent mosh pits to come back and not the pushing and shoving kind. So I'm going to show you a few little clips of what the difference is. There's those hardcore mosh pits where people are doing like karate kicks. Then there's those kind of like circle pits where you're just bumping into each other. And then there's people that just like to jump around. And then there's the people that just want to headbang at shows. But in this incident, the person got totally pissed off because I brought up a mosh pit is just a camaraderie of people going to a concert. May it be punk, it could be metal, it could be rock, it could be whatever it is. People are not trying to go in there to hurt people. And we all know those metal concerts that we've all been to where, let's say, you go in there and you bump into somebody, and they're in the mosh pit as well. And then they go out of their way to literally start throwing hands and starting to fight. And then you have to have the other people in the mosh pit to break it up. And you're like, whoa, what's your problem, boy? What's your problem, dog? And they look at you like that's their intentions. Their intentions are to go in there and hurt people. And that's not what a mosh pit is all about. For myself, a mosh pit is just a way to take your aggression out, or your depression, or whatever you're feeling dark and lonesome in your life, out on the music. It's the same thing as people want to stand there and just fist pump or crowd surf. It's a way to release your energy. It's not a release. It's not a way to be straight violent. There's no reason to be in a mosh pit and be straight violent towards another person. And usually these people that are straight violent, they drink so much alcohol before the show, so their intentions are, I'm coming to this show and I'm gonna hurt you at all costs. And that's not what it is. And that's why a lot of artists like Disturbed, Korn, Slayer, Pantera, everybody says if you don't want to be in the mosh pit, get out of the way. If your fellow mosh pit like buddies fall to the ground, help them up. But for some of these people, they just take it as they want to get physically violent. And the person was saying, because we're in a metal forum, I guess you'd call it, a metal group on Facebook, and we talk about metal stuff like metal music and whatnot. And I just posted like Lamb of God and Hatebreed and Shadows Fall and stuff like that. That was just what I brought up. It's like those are the mosh pits that I've seen that are the craziest. And their reply to that was, so you're just into dad rock? And I was like, what the hell kind of music do you like? And the music they posted was that real like hardcore music that has like hella heavy breakdowns, like dun 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 dun. And I'm like, oh, that's not really as aggressive. It's not for me. And I'm like, oh, so you're into like Whitechapel and you're into like the most extreme stuff. Oh, the Faceless or Job for a Cowboy. I understand those are bands that a lot of people enjoy and a lot of people love. But for myself, I just never been into that kind of music, like that Job for a Cowboy or the Faceless or that brutality stuff with those harsh ass vocals like Cannibal Corpse. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not saying it's trash or Morbid Angel is garbage or Suffocation is trash, but those are bands that I'm not into. Just like I would say if you're into Lamb of God or you're into Dio, I'm not going to say you're a weak ass individual and you like dad rock. But this person, I think they were either trolling or their intentions of a mosh pit was because they said we need to bring back the violent mosh pits. And I was like, violent? Mosh pits are already crazy enough bumping into each other. But their interpretation of a mosh pit is when you're moshing, let's say you're doing the circle pit, their intentions are to run up and like elbow you in the back and make you fall over. And then they'll look at you and go, "Get up! You're weak. Get up!" And they're there just to hurt, and they're not there for the camaraderie, the brotherhood a lot of people have in the metal music. Because there is a brotherhood when you go to metal concerts. Like, you're all there to enjoy one thing. Slipknot, Slayer, Metallica, whatever band you're there to see, you're there because you all love going to shows and you all love thrashing out. But my intentions for going to shows is not to hurt anybody. I'm never going to go to a rock show, a metal show, whatever, and intentionally hurt you for no reason. But let me know what you guys think. What is the mosh pit designed for? Like Corey Taylor says, he'd rather have people moshing at his shows instead of being on the streets taking drugs and doing other crazy things. And I agree. Going to shows is a release. It's a way for a lot of people to take that dark and lonesome negativity that's going on in their life, from hating their job, hating their coworkers, out on the music. And that's the only reason I have ever gone to shows, is to basically help me cope with all that, like, maybe called depression or sadness or just craziness that's going on in life. And that's why I personally go to shows, because when I go to the show, I like to rock out and thrash out, as I say. And thrashing out could just be me in the back, just bobbing my head and throwing my hands in the air, right? That's just how I am. But the older I get, the more I want to sit and watch the artist. The last show I went to was at the House of Blues for the 3-hour Machine Head concert. I was moshing because my friend, she kept pushing me in the mosh pit, which I don't have any problem with that because I enjoyed the moshing, right? But from like I said, she was pushing me in the mosh pit and bumping me around, which, like I said, wasn't a bad thing. I didn't have any regrets for moshing that night, because I had fun, because I haven't moshed in a very long time. But at the end of the day, do not go in a mosh pit causing violence. Don't go in there throwing hands because that's what you want, because that's not what a mosh pit is for. It's not for you to go in there and hurt people, because sometimes this might be the person's first concert. They might be a small individual and they can't handle getting hit, and when you hit and knock them over, let's say 20 people that are circle pitting might trample on that person and kill the person, and then you're the asshole that's sitting in the back going, I didn't mean to knock this guy over. Yeah, you did. You purposely elbowed him or shoved him down, because you know when you're in the mosh pit, or you know those people that are standing around the mosh pit, because we know the people that are in the mosh pit, and you know, the, like, kind of like that, what are they called, like the wall behind the pit that kind of like blocks people from getting hurt. They sometimes will push you into the mosh pit even though you don't want to be in there, and then you get really effed up because sometimes you're scared, you don't want to be in there. Sometimes you're just there with your girlfriend or your wife or your husband, and you're just watching the show for what it is, and then you got some bozo the clown coming in there pushing you at full force, knocking you over, and then you get trampled on. That's not a fun feeling. That's why a lot of times, like I said, I stay away from the mosh pit. But the last show I went to, I moshed because my friend was moshing and I wanted to enjoy the show for what it was. But overall, moshing is not a dangerous thing. It's not as violent as people say it is, unless there is those people that go out intentionally to hurt people. And I've never understood, to this day, a 36-year-old dude who's been to a dozen shows, I will still never understand the people that go to shows and do the hardcore dancing. It's like they're doing kung fu or karate in the mosh pit. And I don't understand where that karate, like they're doing spinning kicks and jumping and like, it's like, what are you doing? That's not a mosh pit, dummy. This is not a MMA class. This is not a martial arts studio. This is a concert. Don't be sitting there like this, jabbing and stuff. And it's like, no, this is not a martial arts class. Stop throwing those heavy kicks. And a lot of times what a lot of moshers will do, people that are moshing and they see these kids doing these like hardcore like dancing moves, they'll go over and push them. And they're sitting there going like this, waving their hands in the air. And I'm like, I don't understand that wave your hands in the air, throw them like you don't care. Oh, I'm going to knock your ass out. Like, I don't get that. I never understood that. But Don't be violent when you're in the mosh pit. And I know a lot of people are going, well, mosh pits are violent. Yeah, there's a difference between pushing somebody and enjoying what the mosh pit's designed for and what people go in there for, and then the other people that are just there to physically harm people. And the person that I was talking to, they were like, I'm here to physically fuck people up. I'm not here to push people around. I'm not here to bump into somebody. I'm here to hurt people. That's what I'm trying to do. It's like, dude, that's you. That's on you, and you're the ones that make it bad for mosh pitters. It's the same people that are like on motorcycles. You could use this as an example. The ones that are doing like 150 miles an hour down the highway and they're weaving in and out of traffic, and then they get in a car wreck and die, and they go, well, that's all motorcycles are. All motorcyclists are reckless drivers. They're haul ass. And you look at the same people in the mosh pit when someone dies, they go, yeah, mosh pits are dangerous. See, people do die. And you're like, yeah, they wouldn't have died if you had the kid in the back throwing kicks or throwing people to the ground. It's not about being violent. It's about the camaraderie of the brotherhood of being in a mosh pit or the crowd with your friends. That's all it is. That's what I look at it as. I look at it as you have 20,000 people coming together to hear one artist, to jam out, to have a good time. They're not going there to get hurt or to get beat up or to start a fight with somebody who accidentally bumps into them and then they think, you want to fight, bro? I'm like, no, I'm just moshing. Come on, bro, let's fight. It's like, nah, dog, this is not a MMA fight. This is just a mosh pit. Just bump into each other and move along. That's all it is. But as always, that's my take on moshing, because I'm sick and tired of the people go out of their way to start fights in the pit for no reason. Just because you bump into them, it's like, dude, that's what the pit is designed for. It's not designed for you to throw down and start beating people up. But as always, let me know what you guys think of moshing. Is it good, great, or what?